this is actually the pretty side. It's alright. Because that would give me a chance to alright. So there's that. But is this the pretty? Is the question. Okay. I thought okay, so hold on. How do I can't tell. Right? Is that? No, I can't tell. I need to be able to tell before. all I'm doing right now is just putting the 2 1-yards together so I know I have enough. You only need 2 yards to do a 60 by 60, hopefully. If not, I'll have to quickly order a third, but I really don't think I have to do that. Okay, so I already have one, but I want this to really stay. So I'm going to do a zigzag. If I had my serger, this would be like literally a no-brainer, right? You serge it once, you're done. But I really need this to stay together. And I'm not saying that this is the highest quality of thread, but it is the thread that I can afford at this time. So it's actually serger thread. I had to turn on that fan, sorry about the fan. But because I really want this to stay, I need a much larger desk. Because doing this is, yes, difficult for my own physicalness, but that doesn't matter. I try to focus on serving other people, not as a, hey, look at me, but as a, hey, there are other people suffering worse, and I kind of need some encouragement or prayer, and through that, I have really, really learned so much about God. Nowhere close to how big He is. I mean, I could spend a lifetime, and my human brain will never be able to fully comprehend how big God truly is. I kind of wish I would have done this on all the other 3 quilts, but you know, I'm learning, and some of this I'm doing it Sarah's way because I'm having to accommodate my own disability and suffering. Not, again, this is not a focus on me. What I'm saying is, for those people who are at home because of health reasons, you know, there are still ways to reach out, even if you can't drive, because I'm still not able to drive. I still have dizziness, nausea. Now, I've got some relief on my left side, but my right side, it's still, I'm, you know, staying on heat packs off and on. You know, I'm still having to sleep 3.5 hours a day. I'm up all night. Some nights, like right now, I'm on a track that it doesn't matter. I can't, I mean, there are things that there is no pushing past. It's a waiting thing. And there's a Bible verse, and I'm just going to state the Bible verse. I'm not going to interpret it because I'm a female and I'm not a pastor. However, my testimony is that the verse, be still and know that I am God, really is a comforting reminder during my own suffering, because in the way that being still, I'm still in being still in many ways, right? I can't move as long and as fast, and some of the movements that I should be able to do at 50, because I'm a brand new card carrier, I should be able to do much more than I can. Now, could I have done this right here 4 years ago? No, because I couldn't even get out of the floor. I could not ambulate at all. And you, there are some things in life that you're kind of forced to go through because God has allowed it for some reason. And sometimes you don't even know why you're going through the suffering. And you have two choices, right? You can either try to go it alone, which I would not suggest, because that's when it's a high probability you're gonna end up losing hope. If you're going through something really hard and you're kind of by yourself physically in this world. Oh yeah, see, I feel much more confident about that. So now I'm going to come down one more time. So I went down with a straight stitch, made sure I loved it, right? Let's see. Can you see the zigzag? Hang on. The zigzag that I put on there? Yeah, that's not going nowhere. Now I'm going to go down one more time with a straight stitch. I'm going to go back to a middle straight stitch right there. I'm going to go down right through the center of that sucker. And it should be able to outlast the washing machine if they've got to wash it. It's for an adult. I don't know if they'll have to wash it or not. But even if the patient, this family's what's it called, relative, even if they don't use it for physical, because I know with anything neurologic, your sensation may be altered. You know, their neurologic pathways can be disrupted, and things that would normally be comfortable in a non-suffering situation may be incredibly uncomfortable. The texture, the weight, the type of fabric, you know, it really is going to depend. So even if it brings this patient, this family's family member, even a visual, you know, if they just lay it across the end of their bed, hang it on the wall, drape it over their chair, where they just, if they're in a wheelchair, they can just drape it across their lap. You know, so if it brings them joy just because, you know, they like pink because they're a girl, or it's just not store-bought. You know, some people really appreciate things that were handmade by somebody, even if they didn't really love the pattern or the fabrics or whatever. It's just, you know, the thought that counts, right? Well, you know, I don't want another patient to be like, oh, well, that person was suffering too and did this. I don't want them to know that, because it's not about me. This is not about me at all. And I'm thankful that the Lord brought this to me. And I have worked up to, like I said, it's an hour a day. The only thing I've done today is I cut with that power cutter thing, which you can't use long because the repetitiveness from here to here in that joint and those tendons hurt so bad after using that. But it's the quickest way I can do it and the least physical way. And I only use that cutter if somebody is home with me. I'm almost to the end of this, and I am so extremely confident that this is not going to come up undone. So, am I using more thread than is necessary? Quite possibly. But the last thing I would want to happen is something to come apart because I was just learning, you know? And when you're learning, it's the more you do it, the better you get at it, right? So now I'm going to take off these little frayed things. I don't think it's necessary with that much thread down, but I'm just going to take the very edge off, just so it doesn't bulk up underneath the, but I am going to leave that seam allowance. And let's see. There we go. There we go. Like I said, I'm just taking this little frilly stuff off. I really wish these pinking shears were lighter weight. I love pinking shears, but sorry, my sinuses are bothering me. I absolutely hate the weight of them, but it's okay. Okay. Alright, hurry, because it's getting heavy for my hand and my arm. Not complaining, not grumbling, just telling you that pinking shears, I think even if I didn't have a situation, and I would suggest having a, if I wasn't in this little small apartment, and I had a place for a table, to where I could slide that fabric on out so I don't have to lift it, it would be very helpful. However, so I need more trash cans. I need like 5. I need a large one over my cutting area, a large one on the side of this, and yeah, these 2 desks. You probably can't see my daughter's sewing desk over there. She's got half the desk size over there. She's gonna begin sewing her first disappearing 9-blocked patchwork style. Okay, so I will turn this off, and this is such a pretty pink. And I will then lay it out on the floor. Yeah, I gotta lay it out on the floor and then lay out the 60 by 60 batting just to make sure this is enough. I'm almost 100% sure. What I'm not for sure of is if I need to turn it sideways or vertical. But for a 60 by 60, if these are, I think these are 45, I don't know. Oh. Hold on. Each one of these are, so there's 12. This is rusted. That's 24. That's 36, so it's probably 45. 36, 36, yeah, 45. Okay. Alrighty, so there is, I've pieced it together. Unfortunately, I do not have a 108-inch wide backing fabric. It's a lot more expensive. Not that I don't love people enough to buy that, but I don't have an income. And one day I hope to be able to work again, and you know, some may say, well, that looks like work. Well, here's the thing. Find me a job that will let me sit and do something for an hour, and run to the bathroom, roll to my recliner and lean back in my recliner when I have to rebalance my blood pressure and electrolytes. I'm either underneath a heating blanket or laying on ice, and I sleep. I'm up all night. Sometimes I'm up 3 days in a row, and then other times I am, what's the other thing? Yeah, burning all over. That's a whole different story. I'm a fall risk and all these other things that some days I'm running into walls. Or if I bend over the wrong way and close my eyes, if I even blink, I topple to the ground. So having said all of that, and not to mention the tears that can come anytime out of the frustration and the suffering, just like for anybody, then I would challenge that, but I don't have to prove to anybody because my medical records already do. But what I have done is said yes to the Lord to try to look to keep my eyes open for the people that are suffering, that God would want me to reach out and to love. Now, if anyone decides they're going to, this is for anybody. This is not in regards to this particular quilt. If anyone tries to steal a, which would basically would be what it was, steal a free quilt, and put me through, abusing the heart for other people that I have. Well, here's the thing. Elroy, the God who sees it, and I don't have to take vengeance on that. I can just trust that God's going to show me who, and then he says no plainly to me, and sometimes discernment, maybe I get it wrong, but I do pray that God will show me each person when it's time. And like right now, after this one, we have to just sew for a little while. I need more volunteers that will come like once a month and help like do power cutting and power blocking and help get blocks done up in a pile, and then that way putting them together I could do faster. But I can't do quilts by order. There's no money exchanging hands here. This is literally just my way that I can pray for somebody else and be a listening ear in a way that I can't absorb other people's sufferings, but I can listen, and I can pray, and I can encourage. And I'm not always Johnny on the spot with responding to messages and stuff because, well, I may have to sleep and be on ice or whatever during the time that my phone is on silent. But I'm gonna stop talking because my nausea is getting very, very bad. But this was a joy to sit down and focus on other people. I know I talked about me just a little bit, but it's not about me. And I'm not talking about me to make it about me. What I am saying is that God shows me more of himself every day through than the prayer needs of other people. Okay, that is my whole point. Even if I went all the way around it, I was trying to get there. My husband's family, they have a saying, land the plane. And I was having trouble landing the plane. I get it, right? All right. Love to all. Many prayers. I am very, very sorry to hear that there is a mom and a grandmother and a spouse to her husband that is suffering in this immense, I was trying to say enormous and immense at the same time, immense way. And I don't know what the doctors have said. I don't know what, I know that the patient has been moved to hospice. But, Jesus raised Lazarus. So all I can say is that with men, things are impossible, but, with God, all things are possible. Now, I don't know what the outcome will be, but we are praying God's will for this female patient and a family member for another family. And I would hope that if I had any family or friends and I was unaware of a suffering, that someone would see them and reach out to love them. And so, there's that. And okay. Whew. That's all she wrote for tonight. I can't see the camera because I'm 50 and I gotta use my reading glasses. See, that was 33 minutes. So, the other reason why I video is one, some of the families like to see their quilt progress because it's in little increments, right? And then I have some people that they're at home caregiving for their own parents and spouses and children, and they're needing an outlet. And so they're kind of watching, God kind of progress this. And, it may never be bigger than this, which I'm not capable of bigger. So I don't, if it was bigger, it's more people that are sewing and contributing and stuff like that. I can't buy all the fabric. I don't own a fabric store. And if I did, I don't know that I'd ever leave it because I love fabric, and I forgot how much I loved fabric, like I did when I was younger and when my husband and I first got married. Actually, I rehabbed a car accident, a neck injury, and then now whatever this is that attacked my entire body. But I'm gonna lay this out, take a photo, add it to the thing, to this album, and then I'm going to fold it up or lay it across my ironing board till tomorrow, because I will have to take it to my king-size bed in the bedroom, and I will have to pin it. I will have to have help. So Clint and Savannah will help me pin, because my cutting table that was supposed to be for pinning is now covered in cut fabric and other quilts and stuff. But for someone who is at home 90% of her life right now, especially in this heat, this gives me some sort of life and something. I mean, I'm thrilled to wake up to talk to the Lord and spend quiet time with Him, but it gives me an outlet also. I'm not gonna lie about that, but it allows me to concentrate on other people, so that I'm not always concentrating on my own suffering, because that gets old after a while, and it's not good for your emotional well-being. So if you can kind of divert your attention a little bit, then it's really in your best interest. But anyway, it makes you feel like you're living, even if you're living behind the blinds, right? I do get out when I have to, when it's not this, I mean, it's as hot as HE double hockey sticks outside. I can't go out in that heat or I'll collapse. And so I have to just wait it out, be still and know I am God. And maybe one day when this I'm really trusting that God's going to heal this, because it just, I don't know, it was just too much of a God thing in all of it. And as I've held on to the hem of his garment, and I really didn't care what anybody said. I didn't care about if people were like, oh look, she's a Bible thumper. All she talks about is Jesus and how much she loves her Bible. She's always talking about, Bible verses or whatever. Who does she think she is? Well, I'm not really worried about all that anymore. It used to offend me to no end, but it does not now. I do not have a spirit of offense. That's on other people having an opinion. I cannot, and I'm not even explaining to be understood. I'm just saying that my strength is the joy of the Lord is my strength. That's another scripture. Don't ask me right now where it's found, but you can Google it. The joy of the Lord is my strength, and that is what keeps me going, is the joy that I find in the presence of the Lord. And I'm gonna have to stop talking because it'll make me start crying. Don't go your suffering alone. I am seeing too many people give up hope. I'm seeing it on the, I stay off social media, like, just, I don't follow a lot of people anymore, except for, quilting groups and things that are helping me serve other people. So fabric stores, yes, Amazon, but that's I can't drive, so I have to use places that will bring me what I need to love other people. And my daughter is going to learn. She helps, but she's gonna learn starting tomorrow. She's kind of excited. I've got the quilting wall completely cleared. Well, it's got 10 little 2x2.5 by 2.5s on there. We gotta take off and put on the cutting table. But she will. She has a whole wall. Now she won't need it to learn the disappearing 9, but she is designing a queen size, which she can go ahead and design it, but we cannot sew that. Well, she can piece it, but there's no way we can quilt it until I have our larger machine. And then she will be the one quilting her own quilt. I will get her started and I will sit with her, but she'll do it a little bit at a time, because you don't have to do it all at one time. That's the cool thing about quilting. You can block, you can seam rip, you can run bobbins, they're all little incremental things. Now, other people may be able to zip and get stuff out and be making a living and stuff. I can't do that yet. If I could, oh my gosh, I would live at every fabric store I could get my tires in their parking lot. But that's just not my life. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up because now we're at 40 minutes, but I only sewed for 33. Alrighty, we're praying for this family, and this video is all about them, but I try to explain, how God works in both, how God brings us these things, and then explaining this stuff was already on the shelf. And the funny thing is, that top was meant originally to be a baby quilt, but then it ended up being a massive 60 by 60, which that's an adult lap size quilt, so it would swallow a baby up. And they'd never reached the edge for maybe a year and a half. So it's a little too big, but this person could use the hug, so that's where it's going to go.